Hey guys, it's me, Vance. So as you see, I'm just coming out of church. The church that I went to today is the Basilica of the National Shrine of Mary, Queen of the Universe. It is a Catholic church in Orlando, Florida, and I think it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Catholic churches in Florida, at least in Orlando, because, well, after all, it is a church that is literally right next door to Disney World. I don't know if you can hear me too well with my face covering on, but yeah. I'll try and talk as loud as I possibly can. So, as I was worshiping in this church today, I started to think about something. For those of you who are devout followers of mine, I mean, not like disciples of Jesus, but I mean, for those of you who are my fans and subscribers on my YouTube channels and on my Rumble channel, you guys know that I post a lot of videos where I talk about political things, where I show my support for conservative politicians like Donald Trump and conservative ideologies such as pro-life ideologies. And I'm sure some of you may ask that question, Vance, why do you talk about this stuff all the time? Why are you so adamant about all these political stuff, all the political stuff that you talk about in your videos? And, well, this right here, church, this is one reason why. Because one of the amazing gifts that God has blessed us with through the United States Constitution and our forefathers who wrote and established the Constitution is freedom of religion. Not freedom from religion, but freedom of religion. Basically, our freedom to worship God as our hearts and as our consciences tell us that we should, instead of how sinful human beings tell us we should be worshiping God. You know, when you study church history, you start to realize a couple of things. You start to realize that throughout Christian history, a lot of people have died for the faith. They were killed off by corrupt politicians, you know, like ancient Roman emperors in the Roman Empire. They executed Christians for what they believed and trying to spread their beliefs throughout the world. You know, telling people about their faith, you know, why they believe in Jesus, you know, why they worship Jesus, you know, why they have this need to talk about Jesus and stuff like that, you know? You know, people were killed off. They became martyrs. They were killed for what they believed in. You know, whether they were killed off by outsiders, people who are outside the church, like the Roman emperors, or even people who are inside the church, like Queen Mary I. I think her name was Queen Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary, a devout Catholic queen in England who killed off Protestants because she felt that their theology was incorrect and wrong. You know, but here in the United States, we have freedom of religion. We are guaranteed the right to worship God however we choose to worship Him. You know, to believe whatever we want to believe in, you know, without, you know, people say without being persecuted, but that's not really true. I mean, we're going to be persecuted no matter what, but it's not so much the persecution that we don't want. It's not so much being free to practice whatever religion we want to practice without fear of persecution. It's more of, you know, being free to worship God and practice whatever religion we want to practice without fear of being executed. Because as I said before, when you study the history of humanity, especially in the religious terms, like church history, you realize that people were killed off basically because they believed what they believed in when it came to spiritual topics, when it came to the God that they worshiped, how they worshiped that God, you know, what kind of prayers that they said, you know. And that's one of the reasons why this is one of the reasons why I always allow my patriotic spirit to come out and protest when things are wrong in our country, because, like I said before, God has blessed us through the United States Constitution to have a lot of freedoms and liberties that in ancient history people were not so privileged to have. You know, we are blessed probably in more ways than we deserve. We have all these freedoms that not many people throughout history have had the privilege of having, and I just don't want to see us losing all of that freedom. I don't want to see us losing our right to worship the God that we choose to worship Him in the way that our conscience tells us to worship Him, to say the prayers that we feel we should be saying, just basically worshiping God the way our hearts and consciences lead us to do so. So that's one of the reasons why I firmly fight when I feel that corrupt politics is reigning supreme in our country in my political videos and my protest videos on YouTube and Rumble. That's why I do what I do. I just don't want to see our freedoms that God has blessed us with, and that our forefathers like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Paul Revere, John Hancock, what they all fought for just for us to have our freedoms and our liberties. So that's all I just wanted to share with you guys, and I hope that, some of you have the same heart that I do when it comes to all these things. I'm sorry if I probably did not express them in the way that I wanted to express them, as I hope to express them. But, I just hope and pray that we're all on the same page, and that, when we stand for what we stand for in this country, we're all trying to reach the same goal, and that's to maintain the freedoms and liberties that we have in this country that our forefathers fought for in the American Revolution. And that's all that I try and do when I make my videos, my political videos and my protest videos on the internet. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Goodbye and God bless. Oh, and before I let you guys go, I'm sure some of you are wondering, what this image is on my face covering. This is pretty much the shield of the Protestant Episcopal Church in the United States, the main Anglican church in America, since I am a proud Anglican. So, thanks once again for watching. Goodbye and God bless.